Hey guys, welcome back to the Goodfellow Podcast. I am your host, Joe Barone. If you like to subscribe, give us that thumbs up so we can bring you some more stories. And don't forget about the Patreon channel we got. We got some good stuff over there, some quiet stuff I don't say out loud. Anyways, we also got the memorabilia Goodfellow Podcast with the logos, shirts, cups, and all of that. And without further ado, I have back by popular demand my dear friend Dominick Cicale from Mafia Roundtable, Cicale's Corner Unfiltered. Dominic, how you doing?
I'm
Welcome
doing
back.
great, Joe. Thank you for having me on. And I see you guys came a long way. Proud of you. Can
Thank
I
you.
say
Well,
that? Congratulations.
thank you. We had a
Congratulations.
lot of help, and as you can see, clear glasses, so I
I
can give my
see.
brother
I see. I
respect.
already know. I noticed that as soon as we got on.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, it is bright here, but I'll deal with it because
I know. It's a
because of
respect
us.
thing, folks. That's what it is. He, he still thinks I'm in the life. He still considers me his capo.
I
How
don't.
dare you? You should be ashamed of yourself.
I know, right? It's kind of hard to think sometimes he was anything else than my captain. Sometimes, even though my friend, but
Right.
I don't know. It's kind of weird. You know,
Well,
I guess.
listen, even it's funny that you say that because um like I didn't even share with you, but there's some wise guys that I'm still in touch with, and I've
Mhm,
met when I was up in New York after I shot with Vlad. We went out to dinner,
mhm.
and they still treat me as if I'm not that I am rat. And I would tell them we're sitting down. First things I say, listen, I'm sorry, I'm a rat, and they're like, don't say that. Like they get mad. They get
I
mad at
know.
me. They're like, I'm like, okay, all right.
Well,
Stop. You said you just out of my tail. That's what.
you know what it is though. You was like a natural leader. If you think about it, then most people still probably just identify you like that, just like I do. I remember when we went to Sue's Rendezvous and you walked by yourself into the men's room, and I was looking at all the guys there, and I was like, "Why don't somebody walk with him?" And then
I was always,
yeah, I mean, I
uh,
know you could handle it, but I just walked in, just always keep my head, you know, always keep my eye on you. You know what
right,
I
right,
mean?
right, right.
You're our guy. You know what I mean? And
Listen, all you
yeah,
had to do is, God forbid, if something happens, you just see somebody coming out of the bathroom, that's
they would
oh,
have flew.
oh,
They
there's
were gonna
Dominic
knock down the
again.
door. Oh God. No, well, that
uh,
was a anyway. Listen, we had a lot of things that could have came close. Even like our friend Greg when he tried to grab you at Hawaii Sea,
right, right,
and
right,
I grabbed him, and he went, "Oh, it's like that, Joe." Because Greg's a good guy,
right, right.
and he
He's
said that
talking
is
about Greg Hill, folks. I'm
Greg.
blowing it up. Greg Hill.
Yeah,
Greg Hill, crazy ass Greg.
and,
Oh
and
my
Greg would
God.
and Greg was no punk. He was like a real
No,
dude.
no,
No.
no, no. Greg fought. Greg fought. I remember one time I'm in Frenchie's and we dressed up. Greg walks outside with somebody he knows. It's a neighborhood bar. He's
Mhm.
fighting three guys, and I'm just sitting there drinking. All of a sudden, oh shit!
Yeah,
He got mad at me. He's like, "Dom, you didn't help. I didn't know.
yeah,
Like, I don't know. You didn't say, Dom. Come on, I got a problem. The neighborhood kids.
exactly. Well, even
So,
like you remember that time we went down to the Diamond District and we hung out. You bought some
right.
some jewelry and stuff, and then we went to go. We got caught in traffic. I started telling you the story about my father, what happened with me, and uh, with him, and all of that stuff with the money.
Right.
And then all of a sudden, then we go out for dinner that night. It was a big party we had at Bruschetto's,
Right. Right.
and
Right. Right.
and then all of a sudden everybody's like emptying out and everything, and all of a sudden then you take me in the side room over there, and I was like, I didn't know what was going on. I figured. So you said to me, "Well, I'm glad you told me that story, but I knew about that story. How many months did you know about that
Oh
story?"
yeah, I know a long time ago with the duffel
I
bag.
Yeah, I says, "But you were acting like I was just telling you this for the first time in the car." You know what I mean? But well, at least I knew I could trust you, and that's why I opened up to you. You know what I mean? And at least you knew the truth about me.
Right. Right. Right.
I like your story the other night what you did about Mikey Nose and about Hippie.
No. 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 When you speak, make sure you get it correct.
Okay. Oh,
Mikey Washwoman the nose.
my bad. Mikey, the wash, yeah, washwoman.
The
Yeah,
nose.
the nose. You know what? It's kind of funny because I want to go into some other things because you had asked me a couple of things on your show a week ago or so. But because that life to me, the loyalty just doesn't seem there. And like even though like you had my back a lot in the street, which you did, I mean, for you to come to a sit down for an associate like myself, if I would have had the problem with Sal or something like that, Sally Larker, that's pretty big. That speak volumes right there to me. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but Joe, that's part of the life. If
Yeah.
you're whether you're around a capo, you're around a soldier, if you're an associate with somebody, that's their duty. That's part of the life. You're around them. You're actually an extension of me
Right.
at that time. So of course I'm going to stick up for you. I'm responsible for you. So if you go out and like you're sniffing heroin, they're saying, Dom, well, really? That's like hippie.
Yeah.
Hippies is full blown junk box doing heroin. Okay, everybody does coke, they drink, cool.
Yeah.
But heroin, as you know, is taboo in that life. It could get them killed.
That's right.
And yet the Genovese crime family has him as a capo, and he's an undercover heroin addict. Ain't that?
And you see, and I give that family a lot of credit. Obviously, both of us came from that, from that
Right.
side. And a lot of people don't realize it. All my fans that know, I was really supposed to be originally with the Genovese family, and so were you.
Mhm.
And so, what I don't understand is how they let it go. Listen, for years, you know, even Hippie even longer than I did. I met him when I was around maybe in my 20s, maybe or
Right.
like that.
No, we were teenagers.
Yeah. So I was late 20s maybe when I got to meet him, maybe like around there. And so why they even got a guy like that even around him? You know what I mean? It
Well,
doesn't make
because
sense.
the pickings are slim nowadays. So
Mm.
yeah, the hippie, the Sal Lockers, the Ralphie Balsamos. They're probably saying that about you and I. Why were we around? Look, I turned out to be a rat, but one thing I never was a slouch or somebody who was incapable or just I never embarrassed. Well, other than me cooperating, but then again, it works both ways.
Right.
Loyalty is a two-way street. I make no excuses, and it is what it is. But I'm glad I left the life because everybody right now, they're taking orders from that idiot, the washwoman, Mikey Washwoman. It's like if I was out there and I said this, I don't want to see anybody get hurt, but if I didn't cooperate, I take him out. I'm going to take him out quick. I have no respect for him, no regard for him. To me, he's just he's a low life. He's
Well,
a
he
low
was this
life
close.
wannabe.
He
Yeah.
was this close. I mean,
Yeah. No, he was going. The feds
I
saved
know.
him. He owes the feds his life, literally. But and I can't understand like Bruno, Louis Electric, Tony Urso, Joe Camerano, Jerry Asaro. How the hell
Yeah.
are they following this idiot, Johnny Joe? How are
I
you
know.
listening to this buffoon? He's an embarrassment. He's
I
a
know.
total. He's beating women, hanging out with Hippie. So Hippie's blasting heroin. He's probably doing heroin and coke himself. Probably. I don't know for sure, but it's disgusting. It's disgusting. It's just. I'm glad I'm out of the life, and that's
Yeah,
it.
I don't blame you. I feel a lot the same way too. You know what I mean? Because look, I didn't get up to the soldier. I thought I was gonna get my
Right.
I thought I was gonna get my button when we were gonna do Mikey that time. You know what I mean? And I know
Oh,
you're
you
gonna
would
shoot him
definitely
first.
had it then.
Yeah, I
But I
would have
have to
definitely.
ask you a question.
Go ahead.
What would you have told your agent? Would you have tried to record it?
I don't know, man, because I know I would have had to shoot him too. You know what I mean?
Because I'm stripping you down,
Yeah, I know.
like going into the induction ceremony
I
or
know.
the hit too. Like, you know,
I know.
you-
Look at all the stuff that when we were going to grab Hippie that time over there too.
yeah,
So, I mean, look, I don't know what was going to happen to him. He might have got the beating so bad he wouldn't have recovered from it. So who
yeah.
knows?
No, you didn't know. Listen, we strapped up with guns and everything.
Yep.
You didn't know. We
No.
didn't know, but was prepared.
Oh
Because
yeah.
when I
No, we
go
were
into
ready.
battle, I don't go in to lose. I
No.
always anticipate the worst, and hopefully it doesn't come to the worst. But
How weird is that his crew and him wasn't there that night? And we waited about 4 hours. We're shooting
yeah,
pool and
yeah,
everything,
yeah,
and we
yeah,
waited there a long time. He never
yeah,
showed up. I
yeah.
didn't even see any of his guys in there either.
Right.
But who
Well,
knows?
yeah.
What I know the reasons why you went and went and joined Team America, so to speak. But a lot of my people, some of them don't. But you mentioned loyalty is a two-way street, and here it was you were on the worst terrorist thing
Yeah.
in the
Sam's
prison,
Act they had me under.
Sam's Act, and everything like that, and but they didn't do the right thing from you. I mean, you and I never talk about this all the time, and we've just hit things that we don't like. We, of course, we knew about Joey Messino and stuff like that. But I mean, all kidding aside, shouldn't your guys take care of you, look out for your interests out in the street, at least until you get sentenced, and even if you get sentenced, don't anybody want to send you a few dollars here and there? All the guys are making all this money, nothing.
No, they're worried about. That's what I mean. Michael was running things, and he's just a lowlife. Listen, Joe, you don't take away my guys, my crew. I wasn't found guilty. I wasn't convicted. I didn't take a plea. I'm pre-trial. That's why I had an acting captain there. He's supposed to run everything until if I'm found innocent, I'm released on bail. It's still my crew. My crew's there. That's my support. He broke everything down immediately. He doesn't know the life. He's just a piece of shit. Look at him. Well, I call him a grenade. You know why? Yeah. Because went with another man's wife while the guy's in jail. He's a mutt. He's a complete mutt dog. He just. And if I was out there, if I was still in the life, I'm coming home. I'm taking him out. That's why Vinny came home tomorrow. Michael's not going to be the boss.
No.
Michael will probably voluntarily step down because he knows Vinny's going to clip him. Vinny will not take orders from that idiot. Never happened in a trillion years. Never happened.
Listen, Vinny was, when we were in the hole together, and he would get his lawyers' meetings, or if I saw him in there just in the law library or whatever, he still was acting like he was the boss, even with me, even in there. So,
that's just Vinny's aura.
Yep, exactly. And even Mikey knows too. All right, so he never cooperated. All right, that's good, and all of that stuff like that too. But if you ask me, because I used to report to Louis Electric when you went away. That's who I was going to. Okay, that's who you appointed. So
no, PJ was my acting captain.
Yeah,
Louis Louis was. Listen, Louis knew what Michael was doing was messed up. So, everybody did. Listen, I had Quiet Dom tell me, it's a disgrace what they're doing to you out there. His exact words. Wow. It's a disgrace what they're doing to you out there. So,
wow.
And he even says, if Vinny comes to this institution, I'm letting you know. It has nothing to do with you, no reflection on you, but I'm not acknowledging Vinny. Those were his exact words.
Wow.
And please don't. And he loved me that much. He's like, please don't take insult.
Wow.
I'm not acknowledging Vinny. Those were his words. Because of what Vinny let happen, what Michael, garbage can, washwoman, the nose, woman beater, cokehead did.
I see listen, I knew there was no love for you, no loss, especially when you asked me, when you asked me in the car, do you want this life? I said, yeah. And then you said, okay. Then we started talking about Mikey, and I was like, oh boy. So at first, I'm not going to lie. At first, I thought you were just doing it because you hated him anyways. And I knew you were high enough and powerful enough to just do it. But I didn't know you had got the order, the green light to.
Well, listen, I asked for it because I didn't like the way he was acting. I'm not going to tolerate it. I'll respect the title, but you're not, nobody is going to treat me like I'm a dog or, you better come off that pedestal real quick, pal. Anybody. I just wouldn't tolerate it.
Yeah.
I wouldn't tolerate it. You know what? And then we deal with it. Just the way John Gotti did with Paul Castellano. And you know what? If Paul would have heard those tapes about talking about junk and all that, he knew it, so he made his move.
Right.
And listen, 99% of the time when you make a move like that, I take out Michael, everybody backs up. They're going to back up. Nobody
look how much. A lot of people, even though they don't want to say it, they still had a lot more respect for John after he did that. I mean, come on, these guys.
And fear. They feared him a lot too.
Yeah.
They're saying, "Oh boy, he's crazy enough to do that."
I remember watching it on TV, and I was like, "Oh!" And I called my father downstairs, and he said, "Oh, this is bad." I said, "Yeah, but it was a hell of a move." I mean, people were talking about it. I mean, that's all they were talking about.
No, he did what he had to do, and that was it.
So, Dominic, tell us about a couple of things. My fans, a couple of people wanted to know, but I'm not really diverse, and even though I'm involved, with you, you got the Crypto Nostra. You got your books. You got, you got the new book, and I believe it's out now. the Perfect Crime family. So tell my fans and everybody, because I got same people watch me, they watch you, uh, and they're interested in making sure they can get it and stuff like that.
All right. Well, the book is out, and I didn't even know it. You found out for me. The book, The Perfect Crime Family, folks, it's out on Amazon, Barnes
Yes.
and Nobles, paperback and hardback cover. We also have a hardback, but mine is a limited edition with graphics in the back. So that's out as well. And then we have official Crypto Nostra.
Mm-hmm.
We started out as a meme coin, and we had to execute the meme, and now mafia style
Yeah.
to give it more stability.
Okay.
It's now a utility coin where we just broke today a $2 million market cap.
Beautiful.
We're at, instead of 3 zeros and some change, we're at 2 zeros and a 201. So we're moving up really quick. We have stability with it. We're coming out with a gaming app. I just saw the prototype today, Rise to Power. That's going to be where 30% of the coin is locked into the game.
Okay.
That's 600 million coins. We minted 2 billion. The company is holding 30%, so that's another 600 million. That's not going on the open market anytime soon. And I mean anytime soon, probably in a few years. We're holding that back because as the coin grows, I'm not going to release that into the market because that will devalue the coin because the circulation.
Okay.
But eventually we're going to use that for as collateral when we open up our credit card, our debit card. We have some other major plays that we're doing, but you keep that as collateral as part of our portfolio, which adds value to the coin. We had our pre-sale, which was 400 million coins. That sold out. And I announced to all the followers that what I'm going to do is when the coin hits 1 cent, all those people, our part of our family, I'm giving them back their initial investment. And I ask they continue to hold the coin, which they have. Right now, the coin's tripled in price. It's tripled in price.
Excellent.
So by them holding it, they're not taking any risk anymore because I gave them back all their initial investment. Wow. And $1, where our goal is to hit $1 and beyond.
And that's unheard of, right? Giving people back what they
No, I'm doing it because Crypto Nostra, like Cosa Nostra, is our thing. This is our family. I couldn't do it without the supporters, without the followers, without people like you, Joe.
Thank you.
And then we have our NFTs that are coming out. We just had a meeting with that. There's going to be about 5,000 NFTs. That's digital art tied into the currency. And then we have our online shopping center, which should be launched tomorrow. They're just working out the glitches with accepting the coin. So there'll be anywhere from 20% to 50% discounts on the coin, using the coin. So it's part of an ecosystem. And once we get our first transaction, which might even be me, I might do it. Just to be the first, and I'll plaque it. I'll do, keep that transaction.
Right.
But now we are an official currency. It was used as a currency to purchase something. So we have a lot of good things in the pipeline. Good. Like I said, a friend of mine's a broker. He called me up. He's like, Dom, I looked at your chart. You have such a stable chart. Like, wow, it's impressive. So we've organically built this coin. It's steadily improving every day. It's increasing in value. And that's what we're looking for.
Thank you, Dominic, for saying that, and also for explaining a little bit, because a lot of people always got a little nervous right away, and I had told people, and I even I said, look, Dominic's a lot of things, but Dominic's a different person, and one thing that remained the same from in that life until now, he's been always straight up, straightforward, no games, no scams, so I says one thing, Dominic was never fake, never phony. And even more so even now, because now you're such a civilian, you know what I mean?
Well, Joe,
And
what I did was too, I told even my viewers, which are basically our viewers,
yeah.
I mentioned to them that if you have 5, 10, $20, just invest it. Invest that
Hmm.
little bit. If you don't have that, we set up an influencer program where we set aside 75 million coins for promotional influences, advertising. We're taking 50 million coins, putting it in a pot. So we're capping out at 400 people. So there's terms and conditions with it, but long story short, it's free. They could
Hmm.
sign up. Whether if we only have 100 people, that's 500,000 coins each person gets. And as we hit our benchmarks, different things activate for them. They keep the coin, it's theirs, and then finally, one or two things will happen at that point. Either it hits to $4, the coin, they get the activation code
Hmm.
to their wallets, or a 6 month period. 6 months comes up, they keep on promoting, they'll get an activation code. And at that time, if the coin's at $1, 50 cents, 70 cents, they have 500,000 coins. So
Wow.
at
That's
50 cents, that's $250,000 for nothing, just posting, reposting, being part of the program. So tell your friends, family, they want, sign up. They'll be tracked through a third-party software that they're doing what they're supposed to be doing,
hmm
and cost them nothing.
I'm gonna let everybody more know
Yeah.
now. That's why I wanted you to say, because listen. I'm not gonna say. Even my assistant, my team member, he tells me about how we're doing on the show and everything. Listen, I'm like, oh yeah, oh that's great. And I'm like, I don't know what he's talking about. I don't. So it's better you explain it, because you have, you know more about it. You're more diverse than me. You just tell me to come, and I'm there, and I appreciate you, including me with everything too. I don't. I just.
Right. Listen,
The
I'm the same person as far as we all make money together. We
Yeah, that's
all
right.
earn together. We all eat together because I am nothing by myself. I'm a man on an island. But when I have an army behind me,
Yeah,
makes me powerful. So
that's right.
this Crypto Nostra, we have a powerful family. They're loyal.
Mhm.
And they see the bigger picture. They believe in me. And there's always going to be rewards working with me. And we're all striving for that generational wealth, which we're all
Yeah.
going to achieve together at the end of the day. And all the haters will continue to hate. Half of them will probably be signed up for the program.
Yeah, but they'll just quit. They won't tell
Yeah,
anybody.
under an assumed
Yeah,
name.
yeah.
They're taking the witness protection program under
Eh,
the assumed name.
exactly. Well, listen, my fans, they all. I mean, I've said it more than once. You've always tried to help me make money in the street. So even if I didn't care if I went in it blind, I don't have to know much about it. You do. I trust you enough to just, okay,
Right,
Dominic, this is what I could put in. This is what I could do,
right.
and that's the way it was. So I'm actually going in, to be honest with you, almost blind, but I got you in the front. I'm good with
Yeah.
it. I don't care. So I'm good with it like that.
No, and that means a lot to me from you, from the followers. It
Yep.
means really.
Thank you. Well,
So,
it's the truth. You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
So I see you're in the gym a lot. You look good, bro.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, this weekend I took off, just
Okay.
relaxed. A little too much drinking over the weekend, but it was all good.
EG vodka, you mean though, right?
Yeah, EG vodka, we still have that too. But today I went in, I hit it hard. I had a
Oh,
really
good.
good arm workout. Tomorrow I'm legs. I switched everything up for this week. And then I'll go back into after the legs, I'm just going to go my chest. I'll go back into my chest, arms, all that.
Isn't it funny how sometimes you'll go there, you get the routine, and you get a decent workout. I mean, it's always good, especially for us up here. But
Yes.
isn't it some days when you get into that gym, you get that work, and you're like, wow, man, I felt good. I felt strong. You're like, no aches and pains, right? I don't know why. Just
Yeah,
it's
it
always a
happens.
hit
You
and
have your
miss.
good days and bad days.
Yeah,
That's just
exactly.
your body, especially when you get up in age like you. I'm still young.
Yeah, that's right. You are younger than me. That's right. But I'm doing pretty good still with mine. I've
Yes,
been
I know. I see. I see.
with all the stress. I used to get the phone call. Hey, what's up, pal? Meet me in 15 minutes. My hands started shaking like this. Okay, what is it now?
Uh,
Because how many times did you call me? I didn't know if it was whether to drive you someplace, meet you for whatever. I didn't know, and I was like always under the gun with that
uh-huh.
life. Look, we're under the gun with that life regular, but what I was doing was even worse.
Yeah, I know. I know. I can only imagine that stress.
I don't know how I did it. My therapist asked me, "How did you do it?" And I go, I think I just was numb. I don't know if I was like robotic. I just went, there was a good part of me that I said, because I didn't like what I was doing, obviously,
Right, right,
and even, some of the information I gave them, I told you, what I can remember too, but I didn't give them everything, because I didn't like it. And plus I just felt
right,
like I was doing the wrong thing. So I guess maybe there was a part of me that said like, hey, whatever's going to happen to me, I don't care anymore. You
right,
kind of get like on that
right.
suicide thing.
So how is Dr. Melfi doing? Is she okay?
Well, yeah, but so I can't really explain it, but she's pretty good with me anyways, you know what I mean? So,
uh,
a lot of my fans, they ask me all this all the time. How come you never ask Dominic what happened with your father? And look, I know there's a part, you looked out for me in a lot of ways out there, in more ways than one, actually, whether it be with money or my back or whatever it may be. So I never really like, did you ever hear anything about it? Because I guess that's by the worst. That's by the best way to ask. Did you ever get like a tail end to winter? Because look, you asked Patty Boy about me. You had,
right.
you did a lot of things to look into me. You know what I mean?
Wait for the movie to come out.
Okay. Okay. All right. That's good. Good
No,
answer.
I can't. This. I have still love for somebody out there, and you know who he is. So,
Okay.
we'll wait till he passes, and
Okay. That makes sense.
there's a. I actually threatened him the other day. You better call off your boy. Your
I
dog
saw
has
that.
junk box.
I saw that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I thought that was,
I'm just getting frustrated with it. If he can't control him, then you know what? Well, maybe we'll start bringing out stories, because I got a list of Genevieve stories, which, yeah,
I could only imagine. Yeah.
yeah.
I know.
So,
I know.
but because I know and I told what's his name, Blaze and Baldo,
Mhm.
tell your father, I
Yeah.
don't care. I don't care. Like, I really don't. This guy wants to run around wild, wants to continue to say things, try to shut my channel down, all
Yeah,
that.
what is that about? That shutting down the channel? I don't understand that.
Yeah,
I've been
he's
saying,
trying to legally, through the legal system, try to shut the channel down, because he wants to take away my freedom of speech, because he uses heroin, and I didn't even expose it. The guy Robert Rosso exposed it. He
okay,
was in Lewisburg with Mikey. I miss my wife. Oh, I love my wife.
I
Hippie,
saw that
and
guy.
yeah.
I saw him expose
And
it.
he
Yeah.
mentioned it. He said, we used to do heroin up there, and I know. I was up there. I was in Lewisburg, so I know the way it is. You have twice a month where the heroin does come in,
Hmm.
and over there used to be a metal factory. So people, they worked in Unicor, it's called. A lot
Yeah,
of
Unicorn.
overtime, triple time. They were getting paid. So with this, it was just I know the system, so I know
Hmm.
when he talks everybody, J Block, that's where all the Italians are.
Hmm.
Danny Farmer, him too. So I know the characters. I know it. So I just never thought Hippie would resort to heroin. Listen, the kid Nicky DiCarlo was doing heroin, and I just had a rod taken out of my legs. I broke my femur. I was in a lot of pain. They gave me no pain medicine. I mean,
Hmm.
bad, bad pain. He's like,
Yeah.
Dom, here, do this. I'm like, what's that? It's a paper. Just do it. He'll take that. I won't say anything. And I believe Nicky with that. He would have never said anything.
That's the one you put under your tongue or something?
No, heroin.
Oh,
We
it's
call it
heroin.
a
Okay.
paper. Yeah, it
Oh,
was a
okay.
paper. It's rolled up. So I'm like, no, I don't do that. So I
Mm.
said, if you have Coke, yeah.
Yeah.
But no, I would never. So with that, it's just. But there was Italians there doing it,
Yeah.
and so you just know, and then him, the way he was talking, the way Hippie act, the actions, and then somebody else came on the channel and says, yeah, when I was in Otisville, I sold him some heroin.
Wow.
So
I tell you the
and
truth. I
this is
mean,
a
look.
captain in the Genovese crime family now.
Yeah. Yeah. I remember when I was up there in Otisville back then. I mean, we had the guy Porky was up there. Um, But those guys they were never doing anything like that. Bad enough we had the hooch in there. It was like you had to make it yourself. I think maybe I took a half a glass just as, they offered me a sip and I took a
Right.
sip of it. But that was about the max, that
Right.
I would ever do. I mean, look, I didn't like being in the jail either, but
Listen, I was locked up out of the 20 years I was in jail.
mhm.
If I drank hooch 6 times, that's a lot
So,
out of 20 years.
yeah, there you go.
I'm just, it wasn't me.
Yeah.
I think I maybe I smoked weed twice, but
Right.
it wasn't me. I was just into working out. It might have been an occasion somebody had to come on. All right, guys, let me hit that.
Yeah.
Does anybody ever get like botulism or really sick from drinking hooch in there?
I'm sure people have, but listen, when I was in Talladega, Alabama, those mofos were making moonshine. Seriously.
Ooh, that's strong.
They get the hooch after the hooch fermented. They'd put it in a 5-gallon bucket, seal the bucket, put a hole in the top, have a copper tube come out of the bucket,
Really?
roll it. That would be all curled up. When it was curled, they put an ice bucket on that curl. They take a stinger. A stinger, folks,
the stinger.
for those of you who don't know.
Yeah.
It's an element, say to a hairdryer. That's the easiest way. You take off the hairdryer, the element heats up. They drop that into the bucket, plug it into the wall. Now, as that hooch is bubbling, the steam goes through the copper, and the coils like this in a circular.
Right.
The coils, that's
Right.
in ice. So once the steam hits the ice, it liquefies. Bloop, 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 drops. That's moonshine. That's how you get moonshine.
Wow.
Yeah. So out of the 5 gallons, you might get half a gallon, not even. Yeah, about maybe a little less than half, maybe a quart of moonshine.
But it's strong, though.
I never tasted it, but people were telling me it was like lightning. It was really.
Yeah,
But
exactly.
when I was in Alabama, too, you had a lot of people from Tennessee, North Carolina, the mountain areas.
Yeah.
And
that's why they all got together. They knew how to do it. You know what I mean?
Oh, they were doing it. They were doing it.
Great uncles and grandfathers were doing that up in the mountains and stuff. Yeah.
I never tried it, though. I wish I did. I would love to try it.
I did have moonshine from a friend down here where I'm at, and because it's like it's the Carolinas or whatever.
Right,
so
right.
they do that, yeah. So, and I had maybe this much.
Yeah, they call that white lightning.
I was like choking, like what the hell? It was worse than the grappa that we drink. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, Dominic, what else going on? Anything else for the fans? Anything else that you want anybody else to know what's going on with you out there? Besides, I mean, I'm working out myself a little. Oh,
I see that. Damn, you eat your spinach.
Something? I had some of the best workouts in the joint. Believe it or not, I had 2 guys I worked out with. This guy Jimmy, my friend, and this guy. Well, his real name was Stephen Fleck, but they called him Michael. He used to make the big 5-gallon drums of meth. And he actually was pretty smart, this guy, too. He said, look, he says, if I ever get loose, if I ever get out of here, he says, I'm going to have everything made by robotics. Like, in other words, be nobody there making the meth. This way, if they ever bust the place, he said, they're just going to get machines. I said, wow. He said, yeah, you run it by computers. And that was in the 90s he thought about that. I said, that's pretty good, because like you said.
Well, listen, drug smugglers are like one of the very intelligent.
Yeah.
I mean, so they have to
Exactly.
evade law enforcement. So yes.
Yeah, it's not that easy, especially with all the stuff that they got now. I just had this guy Ernie on, and he was saying how you used to be able to fly the plane right near the water, but now you can't even do that. They can still detect that now.
Yeah, but now they're going with the submersibles, the subs.
Oh,
the
yeah?
portable subs. They're going, yeah.
That's what I say. Every time they come up with something, they think they're going to stop it. Somebody's going to come up with something to get around it. They can't stop it. That's why a lot of times, and especially with the weed, in my personal opinion, just let it be legal. Who cares?
Right,
I mean, it's not the end of the world.
Right.
I mean, heroin, no. I mean, because that's something that you could be addicted physically and mentally to.
Right.
But who cares? What's the big deal? They used to have cocaine and coke. When we were kids, they had the coke. It was real cocaine in there.
Right.
And then they switched it because it became illegal and they put caffeine.
Right.
Never tasted the same, and it was no good.
Right.
So, but Anything else you want to tell anybody? You look good though. I'm gonna come down and see you soon. Don't worry about it.
Yeah,
Me and my
hopefully,
girl, we're gonna come
hopefully.
visit you.
No,
Yeah,
I'm good. I'm doing well. I'm tired,
good.
but it's all, just putting a lot of effort into this coin. It takes up a lot of my time, especially
Yeah, I
we're
know.
getting ready to launch now the shopping center. So all the merchandise. Even if you want, you could throw your merchandise up there and we'll talk about it with pricing and everything. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Thank you,
Come
Dominic.
on.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I just want people to use the crypto. So
Okay.
we're going to
Yeah,
have
no,
massive
exactly.
discounts with that. And, so,
My assistant wants to ask you a couple of things.
I'm
Go
in
ahead.
trouble.
I know. So
What's
this
up,
will
Mo?
be a lot of hard hitting, worse than me.
I know.
So no, nothing crazy. We just got a couple of questions that the fans have sent in over the months that they wanted us to ask you.
Yeah.
So first things first, we got Louis Puccio. He says, Joe, great podcast, honest, good content. I'm from Harlem / the Throgs Neck area. Did you or Dominic ever hear of guys like Mongo, Dennis Bastian, and Stein? All dangerous characters. Thanks.
Mongo, yes. That's Fat
Mongo, me too.
Mongo.
Yeah, Fat
Fat
Mongo.
Mongo. He had the feast. As a kid, I was actually 2 years in a row, I was his little gopher.
Oh, wow.
Made a ton of money. Like back then, I was making anywhere from $40 to $60 a night.
That's
Just
a lot of
getting
money.
people would come to him and, they'd sit down with him.
Mm-hmm.
And what do you want? A beer? Okay, go get him a beer. Okay, I go, come back. I was like in Goodfellow.
Yeah.
No, Bronx Tales.
Bronx Tale.
Yeah.
Well, remember when he had the big chair that he used to sit into
Yeah.
outside the club?
He needed a special chair.
Yeah, well, he was
As big
big.
as
He was.
He liked
They
his
go-
cigars and he loved his sausage and pepper sandwiches at the feast.
Absolutely. So I definitely remember Dominic and I definitely. I don't know if the other guys. Though,
Yeah, the
Dominic.
other two guys, no, I don't recall.
Okay.
Okay. And then we have another one from Jimmy Bourdreau. He says, what kind of cars did you drive, Dominic? And what was the hottest one you ever had?
Kind of cars I drove. I had back then, what did I have? A 50th anniversary Corvette, the BMW 745 Li, I think it was, or IL.
It was
the long
first-
edition.
Yeah, it was a big car.
The Mercedes, what was that? CL 500.
Yep.
The
Corvette was nice.
Had the
Yeah,
Acura
the white
truck.
Acura. The one I took the ride in.
Yeah. I had a lot of different cars. My favorite, I'd say my Bentley Continental GT convertible. That's my favorite. That, and I also like the Acura, not Acura, the Audi R8. That's a convertible as well. Those are my two favorites. Yeah.
Yeah, that's fast too, that R8, no?
Yeah, the R8's nice. It has the Huracan engine. Actually, I have more horsepower than the Huracan engine.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, the Huracan's, I think, 6 or 590 something. Mine's 611, and then it's worked on, so we got more horsepower. So
we had one more here, but you guys sort of already got to this from Pete Byron. He says, "What did Dominic say about Joe's father? Does he know anything?"
Oh,
so yeah,
sort of got to that. Yeah, we'll wait out of respect.
It might be a while, but
yeah, that's all right. I waited all this time. It ain't gonna be there. You know what I mean? So, anyways, with that, any more questions for Dominic?
That's all the ones we had.
Oh, Dominic, thank you again. We're gonna be live tonight on your show.
Yeah, I should be live tonight
at 5 o'clock. Everybody, check that out.
Your thing's recorded though.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, well, don't.
But you know what? You can still check it out because probably when you're showing your show, I'll be doing a live anyway.
That's right. Exactly. Yeah. Most of the time you're live almost every.
Yeah, live at 5. Live at 5.
So there's Cicale's Unfiltered Mafia Roundtable is live at 5 mostly every night at 5.
Yes.
Dominic, love you, bro. Thank you so much for coming on.
Love you too. And I want to apologize for last time you were on the show. We got so tangled up. I forgot to mention your podcast.
Oh, yeah.
I'm sorry. It's like I got off. I'm like, oh, shoot.
That's all right. You always do it anyways. Before I go, how's the cats? Everybody's good? Your family?
Oh, yeah. Everybody's good. One of the dogs was sick. I had to take him to the vet. Put some antibiotics in him, but he's getting better. He ate today, so that's
good. All right. Well, tell everybody I said hello to your mom and Maddie.
I will. Same here, Joe. Mo, thank you. Joe, love you.
Yep. Love you, pal.
Thanks, Dominic.
Take care.
Bye.